Salutations. Let's break down the SAQ, or short answered questions. So this is part B of part 1. I know, or part 2 of part A. It's the second part of like the first part that you're going to do. So first you're going to do your sim-based multiple choice, and then you're going to do your SAQ. So you get 40 minutes to answer 3 questions. And each question has 3 tasks. So you are answering actually 3, 6, 9 total questions or prompts. They're tasks, all right? But the overall question includes 3 parts, okay? So you have to answer the first one, which is usually going to be that's the primary source one. So it's going to be like an excerpt from the specific time period that they want you to talk about. It's going to be images that were made during that time period or something, and it's going to be asking you about the time period that thing comes from. The second one is going to be your secondary source. So this is going to be some historian making an argument. And so this one is typically used to see if you can identify arguments rather than just taking it as facts, because history is not fact. It's somebody else's interpretation of what they see. And it's not even like everything that's out there, okay? So they're going to have you kind of like break down. They might have you challenge. They might have you support. They might have you point out the argument. So this one's used more for argumentation. The first one is used more for, do you know your history around the specific topic? And then the third and fourth one, you get to choose which one to do. And that's content only. There is no stimulus for that one. So you kind of just get to choose which one you know the most information about to set you up for success. Here's my tips and tricks for this. There's 9 total things that you have to answer. Do not just start typing. Go through all of these, as you'll see me do, and make sure that you can actually like jot down notes and only answer the ones that you know. You only need to do about 5 of these in order to get a passing grade on this part. Now, this part is 20% of your overall score, so you do want to do well on the SAQ. Better. There's the word. You want to do better on this section than you do the LAQ, because the LAQ is only 15%. But still, work with what you got and what you know. I hope I'm good. Really putting myself out there. Okay, so here's my little timer up there. Okay, so I'm going to go through them each. Okay, I've got describing a historical situation. Okay, I can do that. I know my history. Describe an argument that he's making. Okay, and one way disease. Okay, disease. I see 1350 to 1450. Jewish people. Okay, so this is going to be in Europe, most likely. His name's Conrad. It's a pretty European name. And I see here Conrad, German philosopher, theologian, educated at University of Paris, concerning mortality. Okay, mortality. I see this as disease. I'm going to go with Black Plague. So we're talking about the Black Plague here. So I feel pretty good about this. I feel like I can definitely do this one. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do it rather than look at the rest. Okay, so A is a historical situation. It's 1350. He wrote it in Latin, so he's Catholic. So this is before the Protestant Reformation, because that was, I don't know. I just know that he hammered it on Halloween. I don't know the year. Doesn't matter, because they're talking about disease in one of these questions, so I know what are they doing. It does not seem to me that the Jewish people can be the cause of this general epidemic throughout the whole world, as many suggest. My reasoning is as follows. First, it is well known that in most places where the Jewish people dwelled, they died in droves. Okay, Jews not the cause. All right, because, well, they also died from the same exact disease as the Christians. Huzzah! If they really caused the epidemic, they would not have killed themselves. That's a valid argument in others of their faith. Yeah, okay, that's pretty solid. Second, many people say that the Jews poisoned the wells, causing the disease. This also seems doubtful, because after the wells full of polluted water had been purified, the people still died. Okay, not poisoning wells because they filtered water and still die. Further, in cities that use water only from great rivers like the Danube, the inhabitants have also died in large numbers. So filtered water or river source, still die. Okay, what else is he saying? Moreover, even after all the Jews in many places have been killed and were completely driven out for nearly 2 years prior, the disease now strikes these same places. So, people die, even if no Jews. Okay. That's a pretty straightforward, like, okay, I agree with you, dude. Like, you're not wrong. Okay. So now let's see what my questions are. Describe the historical situation. I am in all caps. I am not going to yell at the grader. So, oh, it's Black Plague. That was my first answer here. So describe the historical situation. Okay. The historical, you know what? I'm going to use one of my AP World thinking skills word, and I'm going to say the historical context of Conrad's book is set during medieval times and during the largest outbreak of the Black Death Plague. Okay. The plague, or the Black Plague, the death, no, yeah, the black, yeah. We'll call it the bubonic, so that way they know I know what I'm talking about. The bubonic plague originated in East Asia and was transmitted to the Europeans via trade. This disease killed 1/3 of the European population. Because it's just, there's really no, I can't use my ace on this because it's just describing a historical situation. So, but I got details in here. Okay. 1/3 of the European population and caused, because he's writing, why is he writing this book about the Jews? And caused the, how do I relate it to what he's talking about with Jewish people? So I would say kill 1/3 of the population regardless of class. Regardless of, no. 1/3 of the population, causing many people to blame minorities, such as the Jewish enclaves, pockets, we'll just say Jewish populations throughout Europe. As scapegoats to explain the devastating loss of life. Oh, my hair in my eye. All right, that's a good, okay, so I'm also going to help the reader here. So I know, what am I name dropping here? I'm name dropping the Black Plague. I'm saying that it killed 1/3 of the European population. So that's part of my explanation there. Medieval times is kind of my broader answer. If we can do answer, my evidence is Black Plague. It killed 1/3, and so people are blaming minorities. Caused a huge wave of anti-Semitism. Okay. Ooh, maybe I should write that down. No. I've answered it. and moved on. Okay, B, describe one argument he makes regarding the Jewish people and the spread of the disease. Conrad makes the argument that the Jews did not, in fact, cause the outbreak and spread of the Black Plague. He supports himself by pointing out that they also died from the plague, just like Christians did. And they And now I can't quote, so I have to rephrase this. And it wouldn't make sense to kill your own people just as badly as you kill others or other religion followers, other I'm just gonna say others because I don't know what to put there. So that's his argument. Is there any other, like, this is just super straightforward. Describe one argument he made. I described the argument. So he makes it, Jews did not in fact cause the outbreak. That's my answer. Pointing out that they also died from the plague. And it wouldn't make sense to kill your own people. So there's my, I spelled your wrong. Okay. So there's my explanation, I guess. Okay. This seems like a trick. I don't know what's happening here. Okay, describe one way in which the disease referred to in the passage influenced the development of urban areas in the period 1350 to 1450. Okay, so Europe during the period 1350 to 1450 was not very urbanized as it relied on agriculture. Note to self, don't have nails while typing for this AP exam because then you get agriculture. I can spell. As it relied on agriculture and the manorial system. The Black Death, however, killed so many peasants. Wait, we'll just say not however. The Black... What? Not to erase everything. The Black Death... Why did I do an equal signs? Killed so many peasants and nobles alike that peasants were... X out the end nobles. Killed so many peasants that peasants were able to have more job opportunities. Actually, let's just say people opportunities. So am I making the argument that it urbanized? Because it doesn't urbanize until the Industrial Revolution. So it killed so many people that peasants were able to have more to make conditions better. No. Peasants were still needed to farm. This is so complicated. There is no direct answer here. Okay. Calm down. Peasants were still needed to farm. Though they were able to get better pay and conditions due to the lack of human capital available. Because death. This, therefore, delayed urbanization even more in Europe until the industrial revolution. Well, no, I don't want to make an argument that gets too complicated. In Europe. But it broke down feudalism. 27 minutes. It killed so many people that peasants were still needed to farm, though they were able to get better paying conditions due to the lack of human capital available. This therefore delayed urbanization even more in Europe, but helped break down the rigidity of the feudal structure. Does that make sense? It wasn't urbanized before. And it didn't like magically become urbanized, or did it? Were people moving? No. Only nobles lived in the cities because they were following the king around. Okay, but I don't see a specific example in here. Except my name of peasants. I'm just going to say it's due to the lack of farmers available. I am saying manorial system. That's part of my evidence. The Black Death killed so many peasants. Peasants were still needed to farm, so that's kind of my answer. Actually, no, delayed urbanization. That's my answer. And this is my explanation. Okay. So I am actually going through this and I'm italicizing my explanation, I'm underlining my answer, and I'm bolding my evidence so that way they can really see everything. Okay, so I've answered all three of these. I've got 3 parts for each of them. Okay, let's go to the second question, see how that is. Okay, identify one specific historical example of a cultural exchange between nomads and non-nomads. That occurred in the period before 1450. For the period, identify one development that changed the role of Central Asian nomads played in cross. This is so unnecessarily wordy. Explain one cross-cultural exchange that would challenge the assertion in the last sentence. Okay. This seems like a lot. and it's a secondary source, so I know it's going to be super academic. So I'm going to move on, and I'm going to, I'll come back to you. I'll mark you for review. There we go. Okay. Number 3, identify one similar way Chinese dynasties developed and maintained their power up to 1200. Okay, so I'm just going to jot down notes to see which one I know more about. One similar way that they developed and maintained their power. Civil service exam. Can I name drop 2 dynasties that did that? Yeah, Song and... oh crap, who brought it back? Who brought back the civil service exam? Why didn't Justin Timberlake write that song instead of talking about bringing sexy back? Was it the Ming after the Mongols? Question mark? Not Mong, Ming. It's freaking nails, I swear to God. Explain one effect of Chinese cultural traditions on East Asia. So basically, where do I see them spread? We've got cultural traditions. Oh, spread of Buddhism. Yeah. Oh, we got the 3 branches. Oh. Tibetan. Theravada. And it starts with an M. And it's not Maharaja, even though that's the word coming to my head. It starts with an M. Okay. Whatever. Explain one effect of an innovation on the Chinese economy. Ugh. Guys, the answer is always jumper rice. Okay, is jumper rice. That was an innovation, and it boomed. Well, jumper rice fed the people. It didn't really help the Chinese economy. It helped the Viet economy because it came from Viet. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. So maybe I don't like that answer. Okay, one effect of innovation on the Chinese economy. Oh! Paper money! Duh. Increased or... not unified. Made it more efficient. More efficient? Question mark? Trade boom? Okay, so like I know words here, but I feel like I'm gonna get caught up on the next one. Let's just see what the 4th one is just in case. Okay, identify one cultural consequence of the growth of exchange networks from 1200 to 1450. cultural consequence of the growth of exchange networks? Okay, spread of religion. Duh. So we've got syncretism. There we go. Wait, do I know any syncretic religions that? Yes. It blends Islam and Hinduism. Blast. Okay. Yes. The answer is yes, I know. Identify one the environmental consequence of the growth of exchange networks. Okay. Here's my question. Is disease considered environmental? Or is it social? I know environment has to do with the ground. So I at least know that that's going to be the answer, is going to be crops. And we do have the exchange of crops. Exchange of crops. I've got bananas. You can't not say it like that. I don't know any other way to say it. Explain one way cultural environmental exchange intensified. Ooh, this is from 1450 to 1750. Oh, that's Columbian exchange. Okay. I know both of these. So the question is, which one can I most directly just like get in and get out? Because I've got 20 minutes left. I'm halfway through my time. I can't remember. Ooh, but language. I know language syncretism. Swahili. Okay, so one way cultural and environmental exchange intensified. Okay, so how did the... Okay, there's no N there. Columbian exchange intensify. Because it became... Explain one way cultural... Of course, if I just keep repeating it, obviously I'll get a light bulb. Cultural environmental exchange intensified. One way is through... So would the answer be maritime trade? Or would my answer be Columbian exchange, in which case I need evidence of the Columbian. I need evidence of the Columbian. Okay. So we've got the potato. Because Europop boomed and changed their agriculture practices. Okay. I feel like I'm more direct here. I feel like here I've got too many question marks here. Yeah, so I'm gonna X out of you. Let's go here. Let's get this bad boy done before we go to the difficult one. C for Columbian exchange. Ha ha ha. See how that happened? I don't think they did that on purpose. Okay, so one cultural consequence of the growth of exchange networks during 1200 to 1450 is the spread of syncretism. Languages were of the merchants and travelers spread with them to the new areas, like in the Indian Ocean trade network. Swahili was a new language created out of the native African languages and the language of the Islamic merchants. Arabic. this, and now we got to explain why it happened and how it's related to exchange networks. This new language allowed for better communication and trade, since both parties spoke it. I don't know. Okay, I think that's good. So my answer is syncretism, underline. Swahili is my answer. Indian Ocean Trade Network is part of my explanation. Native African languages, okay, allowed for better communication and trade. Part of my explanation, okay. Okay. B, identify one environmental consequence. Okay. One environmental consequence. I cannot spell this wrong because it's literally in the prompt. Consequence of the, you know what? Can I copy and paste? I'm not even going to try it. Exchange networks. 1200 to 1450 is the trade, is the transfer of crops. And then we go, bananas originated in, I hope this is correct, in Southeast Asia and traveled along the Indian Ocean Trade Network to Africa. This crop was rich in nutrients and grew easily all over the continent, changing the diet of the African kingdoms, increasing their populations and giving them a new staple crop to grow and trade. Boom. Okay, so that's too many spaces. One environmental consequence is the transfer of crops is my answer. Underline. Bananas. B-A-N-I-N-A-S. Okay, traveled along Indian Ocean Trade Network as part of my explanation. Increasing their populations. New staple crop. Changing the diet. Okay. All right. Yeah, I feel good there. One way cultural and environmental exchange intensified from 1450 to 1750 was with European exploration. There, that's my answer. The Columbian Exchange. Sorry, that song will forever be in my head now. European exploration. The Columbian Exchange was the massive transfer of foods, animals, people, and ideas. Well, people, diseases, ideas from Europe to Africa to the Americas and back to Europe again. Crops like, I just want to give another example just in case, crops like the potato, which originated in South America, traveled, were exchanged, no, were, yeah, exchanged. No, that sounds weird. Crops like the potato traveled to Europe on the Columbian Exchange. That sounds weird, but it is what it is. And helped increase the population of Europe during this, that doesn't make any sense, during this time period because of all the nutrients in them becoming a staple. Well, that's basically what I just said over there, but whatever. And changing their agriculture practices. I don't know. This seems a little weird and choppy, but whatever. Potato originated in South America, traveled to Europe, increasing the population, and agricultural practices. I think that's good. Okay. Yeah. All right, I feel good about that. Okay, I got 10 minutes left, and I have to do one last one. Okay. Oh, this one just seems ridiculous. I don't like this, but if I don't like this one, it's okay because I have 6 done that I feel really confident on, and 6 out of 9 is more than half, so I know I'm still going to get like a 3-ish on this part. So let's see what we got here. A is identify an example of cultural exchange between nomads and non-nomads. Okay, I don't even need to look at the source for that. An example of exchange between nomads and non-nomads, that's Silk Road. Okay, just got to break it down and focus on the important parts without their ridiculousness. And who are my nomads? We've got Mongols. Who are they trading with? And what are they trading? Do I need that? A cultural exchange between... Oh, the Song Dynasty. They took over and okay. Would that be... Is that an exchange? No, that's a conquering. Okay, let's go down to B. For the period, identify one development that changes the role that Central Asian nomads played in cross-cultural exchanges as described in the passage. Okay, so what does it say in the passage that they do? Inner and Central Asia have long been seen as a zone of contact and transmission, a lengthy conveyor belt on which commercial and cultural wares traveled between major civilizations of Europe. Okay, so I'm seeing words like transmission, civilizations. Okay, so they're saying, okay, the nomads had an essential but largely unacknowledged role in this cultural traffic. Okay, so nomads, cultural traffic. Okay, I like that. That's helping me kind of get a better picture. While nomadic empires had as their primary objective the control and exploitation of sedentary subjects, their secondary effect was the creation of numerous opportunities for cross-cultural contact, comparison, and exchange. Okay, so it does talk about them taking over sedentary subjects, so that would be like the Song Dynasty, right? So a development that changed the role that they played in these exchanges. So what does that mean? So we're saying that the nomads, okay, so down here, let's skip B. Maybe C will help me make better sense of B. one cross-cultural exchange that would challenge the assertion in the last. Okay, you know what? Typically the last sentence has their main argument. I think that's what they're trying to get me to look here. Here, the great sedentary civilizations are placed at center stage, particularly when scientific cultural transfers are under consideration. Okay, indeed, although nomads are normally included in the analysis of the political context of trans-Eurasian exchange, they're typically left out of the cultural equation. But as we have seen, pastoral nomads were the chief initiators, promoters, and agents of this exchange between East and West. Okay, so I need to challenge. Okay, so they're making the argument that nomads were the chief, like, agent of cultural exchange in this time period, like everywhere? Because that's not true. Okay. An exchange that would challenge this would be the Indian Ocean trade, right? Because it relied on technology, like the compass. Or who, like, do I need like another example of East and West exchange that was not made by nomads? House of Wisdom, right? Because that's not nomads, that's merchants. So what is this question asking? This is ridiculous. Okay, I have multiple degrees, and this is unnecessary. Challenge assertion of them being the chief. I think I'm going to go with the Indian Ocean trade and the fact that it relied on technology, not nomads. And knowledge of the environment. I got 5 minutes left to try to translate this stupid thing. Okay, so, one development that changed the role of the nomads. So then if we're saying that the nomads are what causes this cross-cultural exchange, I need a development in 1450 to 1750. Oh, the time period, Johnson. Look at the time period. The Mongols are gone. Why are they kind of gone and outdated? European exploration, maritime technology. European exploration, right? Yeah. Okay. So then, okay, I've got 4 minutes left. I need to answer something. So I'm, okay. One specific historical example of a cultural exchange between nomads and non-nomads. I'm going to say the Silk Road. Okay. One example of a cultural exchange between nomads and non-nomads that occurred, is it 2 R's? Occurred before 1450 is the Silk Road network. All right, so what was exchanged? That is cultural exchange. What was exchanged on the Silk Road? Well, we've got religions. Religions, religions like Buddhism and Hinduism traveled across this network from South Asia to East Asia, ultimately resulting in temples like Angkor Wat in the Khmer Empire. Okay, so east and southeast. No, because it's, that was trans, no. and East Asia, creating different branches like Theravada Buddhism and Tibetan Buddhism as the Mongols helped keep merchants safe on the Silk Road. It sounds weird, but it's something. Oh my God, I got 2 minutes. Silk Road Network, let's go ahead and underline that. Buddhism, Hinduism, and then I've got this. Okay. Okay. I've got a minute and a half. Okay, so this one is one development that changed nomads' role in cultural transfer is maritime technology. Innovations like the lateen sail and magnetic compass allowed Europeans to begin to explore and establish the Columbian exchange. This trade no longer required nomads, but ships and merchants instead. I don't think I have anything in there, but whatever. Can I do it in 30 seconds? One exchange that challenges the author is the Indian Ocean Network. This relied on tech like the compass and merchants, not nomads like the Mongols. And time. Okay. I don't think that's a full... Okay, I get it. I don't think that's a full answer, but okay, it would cut me off. So, I don't know. I did it. Okay, let's make sure I did do it, actually. Okay, yeah, I answered 3. All right, now let's see if I would get any points here on Heimler. Okay, so I've got Heimler's AI up and ready for us. I have to copy and paste from the PDF, so I had to do like materials because I can't copy and paste from College Board. You know, they don't want you to quote, stuff like that. So let's see how I did. I'm gonna like keep track on my own handy dandy paper here. Who has paper these days? That's so silly. Okay, so 1A, 1B, 1C, and then I have to answer 2A, 2B, 2C, and I know this was like literally 3 minutes ago. I don't remember if I did 3 or 4. We'll get there when we get there. So, did I get the point? Describe the historical context. I'm not gonna paste it there. Let's just see if he can figure it out. I'm pretty sure the AI can figure out this because it's a question from College Board. So, did I get it? Did I get it? Did I get it? Okay, he says accuracy. I nailed it. Black Death originating in East Asia, spreading. Yep. So, yep. I'm good on accuracy. Did I describe? You've done a solid job. You mentioned the medieval setting, Black Death, and its origins. So see, you can't just say, oh, it's medieval times. You have to give that setting. So I did describe. Feedback, it's on point. You accurately described it. Cool. So I got 1 point. Yay! Huzzah! Okay. Delete. Thank you so much for that validation, Heimler. Sometimes my self-esteem needs it because teaching is hard. Okay, so part B. Part B. Describe one argument he makes. This felt like so simple, y'all. I'm so afraid. Okay. I got 1 point, okay. But I do want to read his response. My response is historically accurate. He did argue, and you correctly noted that he pointed out Jews died. So I'm on track. The prompt says to describe his argument. I did describe, but I need to make it clear and specific. You mentioned that Conrad argued Jews didn't cause because they also died from it. This is a solid point, but can be strengthened by mentioning that Conrad used his argument to counter the... Oh, okay. All right. I get that. So to say like what his argument is in terms of what the opposite side is. So if I just mentioned that most people believe Jews caused it, but Conrad is arguing blah, blah, blah. Well, I mean, I kind of did that by saying Jews did not in fact cause, but okay. All right, but I got it. So if I would just mention that others were scapegoating, which I did in A, but, you know, that's me being defensive. Okay, I got the point anyways. So, letter C, describe one way in which the disease, since I'm not going to do the disease in Conrad's passage, just so that way he knows what it is. Because I don't want to copy the whole thing in. And last time I did do that, it said failed to generate, and I don't want to break Heimler. Okay, my response, bada bing, bada boom, and accuracy, and he goes too fast. Your response is historically accurate. I mentioned the impact of the Black Death. Cool. And memorial system, no inaccuracies. The prompt asks you to describe how it influenced urban... This is where I was nervous about this one. Okay. It delayed urbanization because peasants were still needed on the farm. This is relevant, but it could be more directly tied to urban development. To improve, you could focus on how the labor shortage and improved conditions specifically impacted urban areas. For example, you could mention how the labor shortage led to a shift in dynamics. Okay. Yeah, see how I got I kind of got a little confused, because you could make the argument with the same piece of evidence that it delayed it, or that they also moved for better opportunities. I feel like I did say that since it's delayed, that is talking about urban development. It's accurate, provides relevant characteristic, but it could be more directly tied. However, since you did describe a characteristic related to the prompt, I earned the point. Okay, so he doesn't want to give it to me, but I did earn it. So that just goes to show you, I was struggling on this one, and so that's why I wanted to make sure I mentioned the manorial system, because I needed to give the context of the farm. You can't just say farm. And since manorial system was their economic, I guess I could have described that a little bit more. Yeah, I could have been clear, but I did get enough point across by saying feudal, manorial system, delaying urbanization. And if somebody was grading this, since it is not a computer that grades, it's a human, they would see me underlining and italicizing. They would know that I know what I'm talking about. I'm just awkward about it. And we know, as graders, we know that this is your first draft and that your that clock is really something. So they would understand it. So cool. I got everything for the first one. So I am on 3 points so far. Okay. The next one, number 2. Okay. Identify one specific example. This was the one that I don't like this one. I don't like this prompt. I think it's trash. I think it's silly sounding, or maybe I'm just having a rough brain day, because maybe it's just because the first one was so clear. I just really like that first one. Okay. What's my answer? Struggle busing is what my answer is. I have no idea what they want from me here. Let's see what happens if I do just this. Just saying what the thingy is. Okay. Or is he going to say... Okay, he's not going to say failed to generate, because he said that last time. Okay. Your response is accurate. The Silk Road Network was a prime example of cultural strikes between... Okay, so that is what it was talking about. You correctly mentioned the spread of religions like Buddhism and Hinduism and the role of Mongols. Cool. It asked you to identify. You did that by mentioning. You provided characteristics by discussing Buddhism, and it's concise and answers it directly. Your response is on point. Okay, cool, sweet. Whew. Even stronger. No, I don't have time for this, sir. I don't have time to give you 8 sentences per. So, boom. 1 point. I'm a little nervous about that one. All right, the second one, though. All right, I correctly interpreted the first one, so let's see if I correctly interpreted this one. Here we go. I'll do this again. So getting the source line there. All right, now we go to my answer. Okay. And I was like speed typing at this point. Let's see here. Okay, your evaluation or your response is accurate. Maritime technology, including the Latin cell magnetic, did revolutionize exploration. Okay, which led to Columbian Exchange. Great job. Cool. Did I explain it, though? The prompt asked you to identify a development that changed the role. Yeah, did I do that? You mentioned maritime tech and explained how it shifted trade from land-based. Okay. Oh, okay. I didn't even know that's kind of how... Okay. So that would have definitely been easier to say. It changed from land-based to maritime. Okay. All right, my brain just got in the way. Clear and concise, to strengthen. You could briefly mention the specific role of nomads play. Why? That's what's said in this source. I don't think I need to do that. For example, you could note that they were again, that's said in the source. I don't need to say that. That's wasting time. Okay, but I did get the point. Sweet. Make your answers efficient. Don't overcomplicate it like this AI is trying to tell you to do, okay? Point C. Okay, cool. All right. Explain. This is another one. This is the third one that I'm just like, I think I know what they want me to say. Oh, this is the one I got cut off on. Okay. Look at all the errors. She's going to be like, you were having a stroke while you did this. All right, we can at least see if where I was going was on the right track. I don't think I got this point, guys. I don't think I got this point. Okay. Mentions Indian Ocean use of technology like the compass, which is accurate. There are a few issues with clarity and detail, you think. The mention of merchants is a bit, yeah, I should have said Muslim merchants. Yeah. Yeah, I should have said Muslim merchants. The prompt asks you to explain cross-cultural exchange. While you correctly identify, you didn't provide detail. Yeah. Okay. If I had like a minute more. Oh, I sound like my kids now saying, I just need more time. I spent a lot of time trying to understand this freaking wording. Okay. I earned 0 points. Nailed it. Womp womp. I'm going to put a sad face next to my score. Womp womp. Okay. But still, it's not about perfection. It's about getting the college credit, yo. So that's +3 on the first one, +2 on that one. That one was... I'm gonna fight whoever wrote that one. Okay. Which one did I answer next? Did I... Nope, I did not do that one. I did this one. Okay. So I did number 4. Identify cross-cultural exchange. My answer is... this and paste and go. Oh no, I just pushed insert. I need to put send question. Okay, so this is number 4. 4A, B, or C. Okay, let's see how many points we get here. Accuracy, it's historically accurate. I identified syncretism. Cool. Describe. Swahili language. Cool, cool, cool. It's relevant, specific. Feedback, strengths. I nailed it. Your explanation facilitated is spot on. While your response is strong, also ensure that your descriptions are concise and directly. Okay, yeah. And like I said, I felt a little like disconnected there, but I earned a point. Because again, graders are not grading you on how, academic you sound. We're grading you on, do you know enough buzzwords? Illustrative examples. Illustrative examples, by the way, are going to be your answers to here, to your SAQs. So... make a list of those. This is the prompt. And this is my answer. I feel really like all of a sudden getting this graded, I feel like it's terrible. Okay. So this was the one. Okay, the banana. Banana! Ah, banana's original. Okay, that's my response. Accuracy. It is accurate. Transfer. Okay, they did come from Southeast Asia. I knew it was on that trade network and I knew Africa had them and I just wanted to make, okay. I explained it. I explained the impact, how it was rich in nutrients, it grew easily, changed their diet, increase and establishment. Cool. I earned 1 point. Yay. Why? You earned it. I was accurate and provided a clear explanation of the environmental consequence, connected transfer of bananas to impacts on diet, population, and trade, which is what the prompt was asking for. Oh, thank you for that validation, especially considering the other question. Okay, and then number C, or letter C. Last but not least, this one felt a little disconjointed as well. Here we go, here we go, here we go, go. All right. That's my response. I am historically accurate. I identified Columbian exchange as intensifying. I did a solid job explaining it. Cool. I provided evidence like the transfer of the potato. Yes. And explained its impact. This directly supports it. So I'm on point. Cool. Yes. I got another point. I got another point. So I got 8 out of 9 points. Huzzah! There we go. That's all you need. You don't need a perfect score. There we go. And that second one was a doozy. I'm glad I waited till later. If I had stuck all my time on that second one that is so hard, then I would have wasted too much time and I wouldn't have been able to get to the content one that was so easy. Remember, that wasn't like super fast. So start with the ones that you know you can answer and then go and struggle and just type what you can. Because with that last one, let's actually go see what I wrote there. One exchange that challenges the author is the Indian Ocean Network. This relied on tech like the compass and merchants, not nomads like the Mongols. The AI didn't give me credit for that, but would a reader? You know, it is making an answer, which is saying Indian Ocean Network, because it's, and I am saying it's not using nomads like the Mongols. I am saying compass and merchants. Yeah, I could have put Arab merchants or Muslim merchants, but you know, a reader is a human. Like this might be my own bias. I would say, okay, the kid's on there. But you know, I would have given me the point, but I like me and I want to give myself points. Again, readers are trained to give you points. So just trying something like that, they would, you know, even seeing that first thing, they see that I'm on the right track or whatever. So hopefully this helped you figure out the SAQ, and you feel a little bit better about it. Knowing those illustrative examples are your top priority in order to answer these SAQs though. All right, because all of these buzzwords, all these things that I bolded were illustrative examples, answering the direct learning objectives and things like that in the CED. So I hope the force will follow you and be with you always. Good luck.
That's all, folks.